The moment everything shattered wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet, almost invisible, like a crack forming beneath ice. One ordinary morning in a glass tower in downtown Chicago, I realized I had been holding my breath for months, ducking into stairwells, timing my coffee breaks, choosing seats in meetings that kept me out of her line of sight. Avoidance had become my survival instinct, because every time I saw her, something inside me broke all over again. If you believe in kindness and second chances, and in stories that heal broken places in the heart, take a moment right now to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. I was just another employee on paper, a mid-level analyst named Matthew Collins, one of hundreds working under the leadership of a powerful CEO named Rebecca Hale. From the outside, my life looked stable. I had a decent apartment, a steady job, and a future most people would envy. Inside, though, I carried a grief I never spoke about, a loss tied so closely to Rebecca that seeing her face felt like reopening a wound that never healed. It wasn't romantic heartbreak in the way people imagine. It was deeper, quieter, and far more complicated. Years earlier, before she became CEO, Rebecca had been my mentor. She had been the first person in corporate America who made me feel seen, who believed in my ideas when I still doubted myself. She challenged me, pushed me, and unknowingly became a pillar in my life at a time when everything else was collapsing. My father had died suddenly back then, leaving behind unpaid debts, a grieving mother, and a future that felt like it was slipping through my fingers. Rebecca's guidance, her trust, became my anchor during those months when I was barely functioning. Then came the mistake. Not a scandal, not a betrayal, but a decision made under pressure. A project tied to my father's medical bills, a risky shortcut I convinced myself was harmless. When it unraveled, the fallout was swift. Rebecca wasn't cruel, but she was firm. She followed company policy, and I faced consequences that nearly ended my career. She didn't know the full story, and I never told her. Pride and shame sealed my lips. I survived professionally, but something between us broke beyond repair. When Rebecca returned years later as CEO, I felt that old pain surge back to life. She walked the halls with confidence and grace, unaware that every meeting felt like a test of my endurance. I avoided her not out of anger, but because seeing her reminded me of who I had been before grief hardened me, before fear made me smaller. It reminded me of the man I failed to be when it mattered most. The challenge wasn't just professional, it was emotional. Each day demanded that I perform, smile, and pretend nothing was wrong. At night, I replayed memories I wished I could erase. I considered quitting more times than I could count, but responsibility kept me rooted. My mother depended on me. Stability mattered. So I stayed, shrinking my world to fit around the pain. Change came unexpectedly, not through confrontation, but through crisis. A major company initiative faltered under tight deadlines, and I was assigned to help stabilize it. For the first time in years, my work crossed directly into Rebecca's line of responsibility. I couldn't hide anymore. The pressure forced me to focus on what I did best, and something remarkable happened. She noticed, not me as a shadow avoiding her gaze, but me as a professional delivering results under fire. That recognition stirred emotions I had buried. I realized how much I missed being fully present, how avoidance had cost me growth, confidence, and peace. Slowly, the anger I thought I felt gave way to understanding. Rebecca had never been the villain in my story. She had been a mirror reflecting choices I hadn't forgiven myself for. As weeks passed, her leadership shifted in subtle ways. She asked for more transparency across teams, emphasized empathy alongside performance, and spoke openly about failure as part of growth. Those changes felt personal, as if the culture itself was evolving to make room for people like me, people carrying invisible scars. The hardest moment came when I finally stopped running, not dramatically, not with raised voices, but internally. I accepted that pain doesn't disappear when ignored, it only grows heavier. Facing Rebecca, even silently, became an act of courage. I stopped leaving rooms early. I stopped hiding behind excuses, and in that space of quiet bravery, something unexpected bloomed: relief. Healing didn't mean forgetting the past, it meant understanding it. I began to see my younger self with compassion instead of judgment. I recognized that Rebecca, too, carried burdens I knew nothing about. Leadership had not shielded her from loneliness or impossible decisions. We were both shaped by circumstances larger than either of us. Near the end of that year, I stood in the same office where I once felt so small and realized how far I'd come. Not because of a promotion or praise, but because I no longer felt broken when I saw her. The hurt had transformed into gratitude, for lessons learned, for resilience earned, for the strength to stay when running felt easier. Just before this story ends, I have a special request for you. If any part of this journey resonated with you, comment below and share what moment touched you the most. Your words might help someone else feel less alone. Inspiration doesn't always come from happy endings. Sometimes it comes from quiet forgiveness, from choosing growth over fear, and from understanding that avoiding pain only delays healing. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you of someone you've been avoiding or something you've been running from, please like this video, share it, and let us know in the comments. Your engagement helps stories like this reach hearts that need them most. Because sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is stop avoiding the very thing that hurts, and discover that on the other side of pain there is peace.